So you may be thinking about adding a pet to the family. You go online, you find a seller, you send some money. There is no pet. You've been scammed. We're seeing a lot of that with the Better Business Bureau. How about adopting Chapo or a pet just like him? Adoptions, fosters, plenty of animals that need it. That's today's Joe Knows Better. Well, as you can see, Chapo didn't last too long on my lap here, but he is with somebody, a trusted other Joe Casados with the Arizona Humane Society, and with President and CEO Dr. Stephen Hansen, Arizona Humane Society, here with us to talk about adoptions and fostering, and also some of the scams and maybe how to avoid them, if and maybe why you want to choose the Humane Society to go through before you decide to buy an animal. So thank you guys for being here.
It's our pleasure.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you, Chapo. Oh, he likes a belly rub. Look at him.
He's a sweetheart.
He's hamming it up over here.
Cutest dog. Oh, man. You got any video of that, Steve?
Super fun. Very relaxed.
Gosh.
If you're looking for a lap dog, here he is.
He's really a lap dog. So what kind of dog? Let's talk about Chapo. What kind of dog is he, and what?
Chapo's a young Shih Tzu, maybe a little bit of poodle in him as well, with the beautiful coat that he has.
Oh my gosh.
He's friendly. He's been neutered. He's been vaccinated, and he's been health checked, and he is ready for a home.
And he hates attention.
And absolutely
Can you tell him? Oh my gosh.
Very sweet and friendly.
Now this one's not going to last a whole lot.
No.
It may not even be by the time we have the podcast. But there are other animals like Chapo and other dogs and cats, and what else? Rabbits, guinea pigs.
Yep. Today we have about 250 dogs, cats, rabbits, and guinea pigs that are available across our 3 locations.
Okay.
Lots to choose from.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about the adoption process here.
Yep.
What can they do this? They want to see the animals, right?
Yep.
And they probably should. So they should come down to one of these 3 places. What do you recommend the process should be?
So the best way to start is to visit our website, azhumane.org. All of the pets are on the website.
Okay.
And that way you can go to the location where that particular pet is. If there's somebody in particular you're looking for, maybe a size, shape, color, whatever it is that you're looking for.
Yeah.
So check our website. It's updated every 15 minutes.
Okay.
We're open from 11 to 6, 7 days a week. So go to our location, and you can ask for Chapo, for example, today, or you can just visit pets.
Okay. So you can go there, and then you should probably bring the people who are going to be most with the pet, I would guess.
Yep.
What do you do? Test temperament a little bit? You can't know everything about a dog by spending 5 minutes with them, but what would you?
Well, so we do have a behavior team, so we've got a good idea of the temperament of the dog to begin with.
Yeah.
We love it when a family comes down. We've got some rooms where they can get acquainted and spend some time together, maybe go for a walk. If you have another dog, you can bring that other dog in, and they can visit with each other so we can see whether we've got a good likelihood of a match.
Okay.
We really like you to spend some time. We'll ask questions. We'll share all the information we have. But at the end of the day, the family makes the best decision.
Okay.
So we don't direct anybody one way or another.
Are there times when you say it may not be a good fit?
We might say that if we actually see something that we're really concerned about. We might say, have you considered this? Are you going to be able to get out and give this big dog enough exercise? Just because you live in an apartment doesn't mean you can't have a big dog, but you have to have a process to get them exercise.
What else should you consider when you're looking for an animal? I mean, it gets different for a cat versus a dog.
Yeah. So what sort of temperament you're looking for, whether you're high activity, low activity, whether you really like big dogs or little dogs. A lot of times the dogs choose us. So you'll walk through the shelter and a dog will catch your eye. So sometimes you'll come looking for one thing and you'll make a connection with somebody else. But you'll also want to consider the fact that they require care. So they require food. They require ongoing medical care as the years go on. So those expenses are there as well.
Okay.
We try to make sure these guys are ready to go, so they're healthy when they leave.
Yeah. What do you do in those processes so that people can come there and be assured that there's going to be some transparency about what could be wrong, what has been wrong, possibly with the dog, and that they have the vaccines and all those things?
Yes,
correct?
we share everything we know. So we run a trauma hospital.
Okay.
We take in 22,000 animals a year.
Wow.
80% of them go through our trauma hospital. So what that means is we know a lot about these dogs. Maybe it's a dog that got hit by a car and has a leg that's has healed. Probably the dog's been in foster, or it's just a dog like Chapo, who for whatever reason the family couldn't keep him, and he's ready for a new home. So we document all the information that we have. We share those medical records. We talk about everything that we know. We try and be as transparent as we can, so that you, the adopter, can make the best decision for your family.
Man, I've got a lot of questions. I'm going to probably forget a few, but all right. So let's talk about dogs. What are there some breeds that are more appropriate for those who have active lifestyles versus those who don't?
Well, certainly if you're a runner, you want a bigger dog.
Okay.
Chapo wouldn't be a great dog for a runner. You probably want a 50-pound mix of some sort, maybe a lab mix, maybe a bully mix.
Okay.
We've got some very beautiful German Shepherds.
Okay.
I've got to be careful in the heat of the summer, of course, but today you could take any of those big dogs out.
Yeah. What about, I've seen, and I know you have all breeds, but you also have pit bulls.
Yep.
And they're big dogs. What do you say to people who might be like, oh man, I don't know if I can take a pit bull? Are there things that is there a stereotype that may not be true?
So we've got all shapes and sizes.
Yeah.
We've got fabulous little dogs like Chapo here.
Yep.
We have some wonderful pit bulls. They are very, very friendly. So the pit bulls that we have for adoption are ones that you would love to have in your home. But we have a wide range. We don't have a lot of pit bulls. We have all shapes and sizes. And again, going to the website is a great way to get an idea of what we have and where they're at.
Okay.
And it changes constantly. Dogs stay with us on average a week, somewhere in that range. Dogs like Chapo will probably stay with us less than a week. Puppies might be with us for hours. So come and visit us. You can walk around. You can just browse.
I'm going to talk. I'm going to get back to this because I want to talk more about the adoption process. But let's talk a little bit about some of the scams, because what I'm trying to do is point out some of the things trying to use good businesses and good organizations to lead people away from bad practices and scams. And that's what you guys, are a place that people can go to avoid some of these things. A lot of people go online. They want a particular kind of purebred dog, and they go to these breeders. I guess there are legitimate breeders, right?
Yeah.
And then there are some of these scams. Have you been hearing about some people who they're posing as this and
Oh yeah, you can put up a pretty classy website, a pretty flashy website. It looks like you're running quite a legitimate operation, and you send money and no pet.
Yep.
So those you should very much be on the watch out.
Go ahead. What would you say to people? What should they be doing? In those situations, I think we've been advising people to make sure that if you can get there in person, do that, because you want to see the dog and talk to the seller to know that there is a dog. If not, video, something that shows that these people are real. Because they could be in another country doing this. And what would you advise people to do if they're going to go that route? And then we'll talk about maybe why they shouldn't.
So for me, I would
Right.
never adopt or buy a pet without actually visiting. I want to see how the dog's been raised. I want to see what the premise looks like. I want to see the parents. I want to make sure they're on site. I want to know they're legitimate. And I probably want some references from people that I trust. I would never just accept something I found on the internet or on Craigslist. The chances of getting scammed are very high, or the chances of getting a very poor-bred dog or a dog that has very poor health.
And that's what happened. I think some of these scams, I went through a couple of these just to kind of get ready for this, and a lot of them there was no dog at all. They couldn't prove to people watching now or listening to this, if you're looking for it and you go online, you just have to demand that to know that there is a dog. And how do you do that other than seeing it, right?
The best thing is to see.
But the other issue is that they're getting a dog. They do get one, but I think one person was complaining about it was a very young puppy and it already had a hernia surgery that should not have been done apparently before a certain age. And there were certain things that were done that shouldn't have been done, but none of that was disclosed at the time. So he was spending all this money and didn't have all the information. And that's not what happens with you guys.
No. When you're going to a less than quality breeder, you're likely to get inbred dogs, and you're going to have health problems. You're going to have hernias. You're going to have hip problems. You're going to have eye problems. Lots of problems occur when these dogs are bred over and over and over down the same line. For us, the beauty is we've got a wide range of dogs. Most of them are mixed with something, but many of them look very pure blood. But if you do their DNA, they probably do have multiple breeds in there. And that mixing of the genetics is huge. The dogs tend to be so much healthier skin, ears, no ear infections. It's so common to have a golden retriever that's poorly bred with terrible ear infections or terrible skin problems. So dogs that we have that have not been inbred are much more likely to be healthy. They'll do really well, and we provide them in a healthy state with everything taken care of, so they're ready to go home.
Now you and most of the dogs are healthy. They come in. Some of them come in not in great shape, I would guess. And I think they're people who would like to be part of the healing process for the dogs. Who might come down and want a dog that had whatever issues. What do you see? You are a CEO and president of the Humane Society, but you're also a veterinarian and have been, I don't know for how long, years, I guess.
Years.
And
long time.
So what do you see? What kinds of things have you seen coming into? You were with the in New York, but also here. What do you see as some of the cases that are coming in?
So we see a wide range. So it could simply be a dog that's running loose that's hit by a car.
Okay.
So we'll do a lot of leg repairs. If a leg is crushed, you might have a 3-legged dog and they do just fine and they get adopted quickly. So those animals that have been injured out on the streets, or we have dogs that come from situations where they haven't been well cared for. These are hoarding situations where we get lots of animals that come in from one house for somehow they got over their heads. Maybe they were breeding originally. Maybe they just thought they liked dogs. So those dogs will come in. They'll be very thin, very low weights. We will check them out, get them healthy, and then they'll go to foster for days or weeks to put on additional weight, work on their socialization, and they come back a completely different dog. So they're happy, healthy, ready to be adopted, and ready to find their home.
So if someone wants to be fostering the dogs, this is not a permanent thing then?
No.
How long does it typically last and what is involved?
So fostering is huge for us. So today in our shelter, we have about 650 animals under roof and about 450 in foster.
Okay.
So those animals, like I mentioned, foster are on their road to recovery. So a foster family can agree to take a pet for a certain amount of time. It may only be a couple of days if it's a suture, maybe they had a laceration and they've got some sutures in and those need to come out in a week. So it could be something very short, or it could be a dog that needs to gain weight and is very scared, and that dog could be in foster for a month or two. So for foster families, we work with them to find out what their schedules are, how long they're here, maybe they're traveling. We can match a pet with their lifestyle, with the animals they already have.
Okay.
And then they have an option too. As a foster parent, you have the option to adopt if you so choose.
So it's kind of a trial period.
It's a great trial period, and it's a really nice way to get some of our very best dogs.
Okay.
Because since most of the dogs come through our trauma hospital for one reason or another, the really nice ones are out there in foster somewhere, like
Chapo.
Could be like Chapo.
Oh
but
my
he's
gosh!
actually ready now. But
Joe, you're doing an amazing job.
I mean, somebody's got to do it, right? Someone's got to hold the puppy and let them fall
It's
asleep.
just
on their
awful,
lap,
just horrible.
But he's a really good example of the type of dogs we have.
Yeah, and so now, Joe, you got involved with this. You are a dog lover.
Yes, I mean,
You
pet
don't have
lover
one
in
yet, but
general.
you're
I
gonna be.
think you'd be hard pressed to find somebody at the Arizona Humane Society that isn't a pet lover.
Yeah.
So,
What have you seen there? What have you seen? It must be a joy to see people coming in and maybe even in some cases what the dog's been through, and now you see them with a family that's really going to love them.
yeah, absolutely. I think the biggest thing with the Arizona Humane Society is getting to see how much we do. When you start here and you start to learn about all the different areas that we're helping pets, whether that's through adoptions and fosters, but also with our field team who's out investigating animal cruelty situations or helping pets that
I
are
don't
on
think
the
a lot
side
of people
the
know
road.
about that.
Yeah, we do so much to help pets.
Yeah.
And so just getting to see the whole cycle of caring for a pet is really incredible.
Has he actually fallen asleep on your lap?
I think so. I think we've lost
Chapo.
Chapo. He might be out.
Well, Chapo, it's your big time here. We're about to end. He's not even getting up.
Nothing.
So if you want a dog that sleeps, man, Chapo's your dog. Actually, Chapo's very active though until now, so he's got both. All right, so I want to wrap up, I guess, a little bit here, but I just was thinking of other people who might be. So you don't get people who come in and then say, boy, I just didn't think about this enough. Here, you're going to take the dog back. You may get that. But is it easy to get those dogs back into another home?
It
and
is.
what should people think about, again, before they kind of come down? And
So part of our process is we consider it a very open adoption process in the first place.
Yeah.
We try and help you make a good choice. At the end of the day, it's your choice. But if it doesn't work, no problem. Bring the pet back to us. We do have some that come back, and it's because either they don't get along with somebody else in the family or there's an interaction with another dog.
Yeah.
That's okay, because we will have no trouble finding the right home.
Yeah.
We would much rather somebody try. And if it doesn't work, do bring the dog back. We're quite happy to take the dog back, because we'll find if Chapo didn't work out, we'll find the right home for him.
Okay.
So it's really a no-fault process, and it works really nicely that way. You don't really know until you get the pet home how it's going to interact in your house with your family.
If you are somebody who wants a dog, you should probably, I would think, I'm going to put words in your mouth, but I probably think you can't be gone for long periods of time unless you have someone looking out for the dog. A cat, different.
So that's right. Cats are fabulous for somebody that's not at home. You can even be gone a couple of days with an automatic feeder and an automatic waterer. So cats can be really good for many, many situations. For dogs, that they do need to have a schedule. So dogs can generally go all day long.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got 3 dogs at home. I let them out when I leave in the morning. And either myself or my wife get home in time to let them out in the evening. Then we take them for a walk at night. So they get a walk, all 3 of mine get a walk about 10 o'clock at night, and they love it. They get all excited for it. So it's a great way to get me out of the house as well.
One of my sons had a cat, and I told you that the cat died after, I think, a year, but loved that cat and he walked the cat. I don't know if you've heard of that before.
Oh, yeah.
Is that common?
It's not
I thought it was so
common,
odd.
but it definitely occurs.
Yeah.
It's not uncommon.
It was so interesting. I mean, the cat actually was walking along the dog and all that. I'm sorry, folks, if you're cat lovers, we didn't talk as much about cats. Anything else you want to say about it? You've got a big selection of cats as well.
We have a large selection. We
right.
have a kitten nursery. So we've got many young kittens that are available today.
Okay.
And they'll be available through the first of the year. They'll continue to come in. So we adopt lots of cats. We adopt half as many cats as we do dogs.
Do you talk to them about how big the cat is going to be eventually? I mean, are people, they love kittens, but then they're like, oh my gosh, there's a...
We'll certainly talk about the adult cat, because we have so many kittens on what you might expect as this cat grows up. We'll also coach people on how to trim nails. Declawing is no longer necessary. We'll talk about litter box training. We'll talk about proper diets.
Right.
We have very knowledgeable staff that can help make sure that adoption works. So visit azhumane.org, see who we've got available. Our adoption process is easy, and we would love to put pets in homes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to say our support also doesn't stop at the moment of adoption, which is an amazing thing about the Humane Society. We have behavior training classes for dogs. So if you want to get better walking on a leash with your dog, or snake avoidance training here in Arizona, we offer all sorts of things like that, as well as low-cost medical services. So we really are here supporting the community through the lifetime of their pet, not just at the moment of adoption, like if you bought a pet online.
Yeah, and maybe it's a good choice for people who are thinking about maybe buying a pet, trying this first, coming here and seeing if there's maybe a pet that they might want here, instead of spending that money or losing it or whatever online.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right, guys. I really appreciate you being here. I know it's a busy time for you. That's President and CEO, Arizona Humane Society, Dr. Stephen Hansen, and Joe Casados. Appreciate it. And Chapo.
The star of the show fell asleep on us.
Star of the show.
I bored Chapo to death over there, man. He's just like...
We tired him out before the podcast.
He's like,
so
man,
it worked out well.
I didn't, yeah, right. I just had to sleep through the whole thing. All right, guys. Thanks for being here.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Before hiring, go to bbb.org, check reviews, and for accredited businesses that agree to operate ethically. And see all my podcasted videos, joeknowsbetter.bbbcommunity.org. I'm Joe Ducey with the Better Business Bureau, and I'll see you next time.